Well, the writer for The Independent, Femi Olawale, is with us today. Morning, Femi.
Morning.
Good morning, and the commentator, Phil Kelly. Morning, Phil.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. What do you think, Femi?
So I agree with, the Premier League is its own thing. They're a private company. They can choose to uphold the values of equality and inclusion and support for gay people, transgender people, lesbian people, bisexual, everyone on that spectrum. And if somebody chooses that, if they decide that if you want to play the game, you have to wear the armband, that's up to them, and I think that's a good thing. As for Marc Guehi's decision to write "I love Jesus" on that in the name of free speech, I support that as well. He's entirely entitled to express his religious views, just like the Premier League is entitled to express theirs. The decision to not wear it, that I would question. I think the Premier League should. Pardon?
Why?
Well, because as in the Premier League is upholding the values of equality. If you and they have the right to be able to say, if you want to be part of this league, then you should uphold those values as well. Especially as there are problems of homophobia in the Premier League. So few Premier League players have come out as gay, and part of that is because there is an issue of inclusion. And so this sort of thing does say, no, this is what we stand for. If you want to watch football, if you want to engage in that, you don't get to be a bigot.
Phil?
Well, this shouldn't be a story at all. No company and no organisation should be able to compel its employees or members to support a campaign that they do not wish to support, whether that be the wearing of a poppy, the wearing of the Ukrainian flag, or a rainbow armband or laces. And the thing is, the rainbow flag has become utterly meaningless in the modern context. It's been hijacked by an alphabet soup of letters that are totally incoherent and self-contradictory. And the idea that an organisation which you've looked at, Stephen, Stonewall, are the arbiters of equality is nonsense. Because really the question to the Premier League should be, why do you support a campaign and a group which promotes an ideology that says men, biological males, should be included in female sports categories?
If we're talking about identifying as a woman, can they identify as within the gender of a woman, not the sex? We're not talking about sex. We're talking about gender. Can they identify as the gender, which is the social construct? Then that's something that's decided by society based on stereotypes. But the issue here we're talking about today is this armband, and the way you've gone off on trans people is made it very, very clear that this isn't about free speech for you. This is about you not agreeing with the rainbow band itself. You not agreeing with the campaign. That's the issue that it is. And my view is that as a modern tolerant society, we should be able to have organizations that choose to take a stand against that kind of bigotry and say that we are actually a modern society that actually respects people regardless of who they choose to love.
I applaud those people like LGBT Alliance. I applaud those lesbians and feminists who are standing up against organizations like Stonewall, often having to take it before the courts to say you're actually attacking our rights.
Who mentioned Stonewall?
Stonewall is behind the campaign, Lemmy.
No. The rainbow flag is this across the entire globe. This isn't about Stonewall. This is about the principle of equality.
Campaign is a Stonewall campaign, is it not?
The Premier League are the ones doing this campaign. The Premier League are the ones who are doing the rainbow flags. It's not about Stonewall. They're saying that we want the rainbow flag. That's a global campaign. It's not about Stonewall. You're bringing in Stonewall because you don't like Stonewall and because you don't like the campaign. You're welcome to, but that's not relevant to this discussion.
But on one hand, you're saying you can disagree with the campaign. That's exactly my point. People have the right not to support any group or organisation in its campaign and shouldn't be forced or coerced to promote those aims and objectives, whatever they may be.
No. Nobody has the right to be a Premier League football player. If you choose to play in the Premier League, then you choose to play within the rules of that system, a system that is now currently trying to at least show that they are inclusive of people regardless of who they choose to love.
Norman and Bangor. Morning, Norman.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Stephen, this footballer is absolutely right in refusing to wear the rainbow armband that promotes the LGBTQ community. I, as a Christian, wouldn't wear it either, and anyone who has Christian beliefs would not wear that armband, and any footballer who has Christian beliefs shouldn't wear the armband either. This has been pushed down our throats.
Well, how's it being pushed down your throat now?
If you look at every football
There's no one asking you to wear it.
Pardon?
There's no one asking you to wear it. It's hardly been pushed down your throat.
It's been pushed down on the kids in school. It's been pushed down their throat.
Is this because you believe that homosexuality is a sin?
It says in the Bible, man shall not lay with man, nor woman with woman. So it's a sin for two men to lie together or two women to lie together.
And that
You say it's a sin, but sexuality isn't something that someone chooses. And in the context of Christianity, if we're saying that some sins are things that people can't choose and can't be changed, then that means that some sins are permanent. And if some sins are permanent, that would imply that Jesus died for nothing, because the whole purpose of his death was to cleanse us of our sins. And if you're saying that homosexuality is a sin, you're actually disrespecting Jesus' sacrifice.
Could we just correct Femi? Because I'm just looking at the Premier League website, Rainbow Laces campaign, and the Premier League declaring that it proudly stands alongside Stonewall. You've done an investigation into Stonewall and the influence they have within organisations. So there is a link there that, Femi can't deny. And there are many people in the lesbian and gay community who have big, big problems with Stonewall, not least of all some of their founding members who feel the organisation has moved away from its core reason to exist.
So, sir, your issue is with the Premier League association with Stonewall. That doesn't mean that it's wrong for them to support the rainbow flag, which for most people does not mean Stonewall. It means the inclusion of LGBT people.
I also don't think that the fight for equality, for real equality, is best served by this kind of shallow, performative nonsense that big corporations and big organisations are happy to indulge in, but will drop at the first sign of trouble, or when a sporting event is held in a country that doesn't subscribe to this. And as we've seen, when footballers are offered their big contracts in countries that have a poor record on the rights of gay and lesbians, we see how they quickly discard their rainbow laces and sign the big contract. So we need more than performance. We need more than this kind of window dressing to fight for real equality.
So on that, I would 100% agree with you. This happens with a lot of issues, including pride issues, including Black Lives Matter issues, where organizations, these corporate giants, they wear their flags for a month and then they have practices which completely go against those values. I 100% agree with you. But the fact that we have somebody on this call who is fundamentally against gay people shows that there is an issue with people who do support the Premier League, who are in favor of that level of bigotry, and so Premier League should take a stand. Now, whether or not they should go further than that, I agree with you. They should do more than just wearing the flag, but the flag is at least a start.
Okay, Phil and Femi, thank you.